Hey guys, I want to thank you for taking the time to see this video. Right now I'm going to show you the purchasing within the software. So what I'm going to do first is click on purchases and go to orders. As soon as I do that, I'm going to click on new on the right hand side, and this brings up my list of vendors to search from. All I need to do is start typing, and as it's typing, it's filtering in based on the letters that I type in. So even though I'm looking for Zamudio Farms, it sees ZA in pizza and pulls that up as well. I'm just going to highlight, hit enter. Now you'll notice what it does right away is it brings up what we call standard items. This is what you might refer to as an order guide. It's what you're going to be typically buying from a specific vendor. These are items that you can manipulate, you can change on a weekly, monthly, annual basis by vendor. So if, for example, you don't buy a specific item from this vendor anymore, we do have a screen called Maintain Items. And that just says, you know, if we haven't purchased this item since X date, take it off of the standard list. But moving forward, the goal here is just to be able to click in this order quantity column and just key in a quantity. We want to make it as quick as possible. So if you need 20 cases of apples and you need some mangoes and that's all you need, you're done. Okay, now there is a cost already associated in this cost column. That's going to show you the last cost that you paid when you bought this item from this vendor. That is not the last cost that you paid in general. It's just the last cost you paid when you bought it from this vendor. Okay, so again, the key is just to really quickly go through and put in the quantities of what you're needing to purchase by item. If there was an item that you needed to purchase that was not on this list, you have multiple ways of doing that as well. I could either come here on these hotkeys, okay, and there's that add line. So if I hit that function F3, it adds a blank line. And now, for example, if I wanted to add limes, just for argument's sake, I could just start typing LIMES, and there's all my limes. A real quick and easy way of adding an item. Okay, now you'll notice here when I add that, there's no cost associated with it because, like I said, I've never bought this item from this vendor. Okay, so I can just put in a cost. Okay, I can also, if I wanted to, I could just hit enter, and it's going to tab over to another line. If I wanted to just pull up my entire item list, all I would need to do is come here. This F2 button is just going to pull up everything in my inventory that I can purchase. And that's, I can either scroll down like a normal scroll menu, or I can search for it. If I was searching for oranges, I could just start typing ORA, and there's, as I'm typing, it's filtering in what I'm looking for. Okay, real quick and easy. So the goal here is once you've put in everything that you want, you just click save. Now you're going to notice as soon as I do that, there's a couple items here with zero quantity. When I click save, those are going to drop away. Oh, whoops. Here, I needed to delete that, which I will. Okay, so everything with a zero quantity disappeared. So now I'm left with my clean purchase. From here, what I can do, I can click my print button here. I could preview it. So this is what our generic purchase order would look like. Oh, I apologize. There it is. So there is our generic standard purchase order that you can print out, email, fax to your vendor. You can email it or fax it straight out of the system. You can also do labels. So if you were looking to do barcode labeling, you could do that as well straight out of the software. We also have another document called the receiving card. The receiving card is going to look a little bit different. What the receiving card is for is more of a receiving document. So this is what would go to your receiving clerk. Okay, so this is a more of a quality control document. You can fill in this information. The receiver can put any notes that he or she was going to, if there was any issue with what was received. But more importantly, you'll notice there's this barcode here on the top. You'll notice that as we go through the various aspects of the software, a lot of the forms that we print out ourselves out of the software, we have this barcode, which means you can fill it out, and then instead of having to file it, you can scan it back into the software. So this document, once filled out, can be scanned in, and it would go under this vendor's file automatically, that you could then pull up, email, print, do whatever you needed to if there was ever any issues down the road. So again, that could be scanned and entered back into the software. The software also created a sequential purchase order number. So right now we're at 5876. What the software does is it takes that PO number, adds the line number, and now we have a unique lot number. So right now it is 5876001, which means line 1 on PO 5876. More importantly, what the software does is it now knows that anywhere it sees 5876001, it's referring to Gala apples bought on this date from this vendor at this cost. Later on, if you're doing any selling or repacking, we will know that that lot was used for that sale or that repack. So that traceability is going to be used throughout the software. So you'll see this is line 3 of this PO, line 4, line 6. Those are unique lot numbers that cannot be duplicated. Now, if you did need to create your own lot number, if you had a cold storage facility or anything along those lines, or if your vendor gave you a lot number, you can overwrite this. If I were to click edit, I can overwrite this and put in any lot number that I needed to. That is as simple as it is to do a purchase order. That is now in the system. The one thing I will mention, this vendor has a lead time of 9 days. So that's why it defaulted to September 20th, because it added 9 days to the to the receive date. So you'll notice that when we go into receiving, that it's going to be expecting that to be in on the 20th. We can receive it earlier or later, but this is just the default date. That is all there is to making a purchase order. The one thing I will show you though is, even though we did this purchase order in, if I look at my inventory file, so there are these lines that we just put in. Let me go ahead and select one of the items that we had, that I put it. So here I've got 0 in my inventory of these Gala apples, but I've got 20 on order. So already this is being reflected in what my inventory is. I know that I have 20 cases due on the 20th, that in fact, if I wanted to, I could start selling on sales orders dated the 20th or later. That is as simple as it is to do a purchase order. I appreciate you paying attention. Thank you very much. And we're going to go to the next video.